Hello and welcome back to the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled by Petron. My name is Aaron Thompson, coming to you now for race 23 of the season, but before then, a quick walk down the pit lane.
Final adjustments here for race 23 of the Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship at the Madras Motorsport Club in southern India. We're about to start this event and I'm going to hand you back now to race control.
Thank you very much, Peter. Now back up to race control to watch the start of the race. Pole position, we have Sneha Sharma. Just behind her, Yash Adia, so it's a front row start for Team India. Just behind them, we've got Muiz Mushafir, Shihab Al-Habsi and Alistair Young rounding out the top five, which means Malaysia's got a good chance to be up on the podium today once again, with Elias Sapanin, Luke Allen and Mira Erda bringing up the rear of the grid. Of course, this grid is determined by the results of the second race from yesterday evening. Those results, of course, reversed, and then any penalties incurred in that race applied to the reverse grid. Making a move in just a moment. You can hear everybody just getting away now. Red lights are out and off we go down. Looks like everybody's got a good start. Looks like Alistair Young has a fantastic start. And an orange car in front of him, which would be either Muiz Mushafir. Muiz Mushafir it is indeed, as Alistair Young goes up the inside of everybody, gets blocked out by Shihab Al-Habsi, and Muiz Mushafir instead gets up into second position, or maintains his second position, I should say, as Luke Allen into third from second last on the grid. Fantastic driving from him. Muiz Mushafir all over the back of the purple number 9 car of Sneha Sharma, driven by our leading lady at the moment, as we come through the kink now with Sneha, Muiz and Luke Allen first, second and third. In fourth position, another orange car, number 17, driven by Yash Adi, another Indian driver just ahead of Shihab Al-Habsi in the red number 34, driving for Oman. Elias Sapanin seems to be in sixth position at the moment as Muiz Mushafir and Luke Allen get past Sneha Sharma at the start of sector 2, down into turn 4 and around turn 5 as Muiz Mushafir, Yash Adi now challenging his compatriot Sneha through the second sector of the lap and down into turn 7. But let's look back to the front of the grid where Malaysia's Muiz Mushafir in the orange number 13 car has leading the race just ahead of Luke Allen, the man at the front of the championship standings. As we come down into corner 8 now, hard braking point here, but nobody close enough to make a move. At the front of the grid, a little bit further back, you can see Shihab Al-Habsi trying to go around the outside of Elias Sapanin, sets himself up nicely for an inside move at turn 9. Can he make it stick? No, he decides against it as they come down now into the final sector of the lap, with Yash Adia leaving this second half of the grid. Shihab Al-Habsi in fourth or fifth position, I would say, just behind number 9 of Sneha Sharma, and Elias Sapanin just behind the two cars we just mentioned as to go up over the bridge, down into turn 12 and onto the second lap of the race with Elias Sapanin, Shihab Al-Habsi going up the inside at turn 12. Let's get back to that camera. Let's see the overtaking action at turn 12. Oh, we missed it. And looks like Shihab Al-Habsi decided against it. Let's cut back to the two red cars in the mid-grid, Shihab Al-Habsi and Elias Sapanin, because that's where all the action is at the moment. Let's follow them now on this camera as they go past Alistair Young up the inside at turn 1. Fantastic driving here from Oman to get into position. He's going up Sneha Sharma as well on the inside of turn 2, and Elias Sapanin around the outside of turn 2 on Alistair Young. Fantastic driving. Let's stay on this camera angle, please, so we can have a look further down the grid and see what happens. Looks like Alistair Young in the pink number 22 has lost out dramatically as Sneha Sharma holding on to her position and keeping Shihab Al-Habsi just behind her for the moment, and Elias Sapanin just behind him as they come down now into the second lap, the second sector of the second lap. Shihab Al-Habsi gets past Sneha under braking into turn 4, and Elias Sapanin looking up the inside at turn 5. Can't quite make a stick though. Decides against it, perhaps wisely, because there's not a lot of space for any mistakes to be made at that corner. So we come around into turn 6 now and down into turn 7. Let's have a quick look a little bit further to the left of your screens, and we'll see what Elias Sapanin has to show us with Sneha Sharma perhaps taking her on the exit out of turn 7 as he did with Alistair Young yesterday. Not quite able to do so though, because Alistair Young is right on the back of the Finnish driver in the red number 58 car and not giving him an opportunity to overtake the girl in front of him before Alistair overtakes him as well. So here coming down into turn 9 now, this is your race leader in the orange number 13 car at the front of your screens ahead of the blue number 3 of Luke Allen. Both of those two driving in front of Yash Adi in the orange number 17, followed closely by the red number 34 of Shihab Al-Habsi, and then the red number 58 of Elias Sapanin as he gets past Sneha Sharma and Alistair Young in the pink car, the pink number 22 in the middle of your screens, going around the outside at turn 10, up the inside to turn 11. Oh, big collision there from Alistair Young, hitting into the rear left corner of Sneha Sharma, who is now stuck in the gravel at the entrance to the exit to turn 11. Let's have a quick look at the replay now. Alistair does have his wheel past the rear wheels of Sneha Sharma. She seems to try and close the door, and everything goes wrong for both drivers. Alice Young doesn't seem to have any damage, though, as he's continuing to race and seems to be at pace, still coming down into corner 2 now of what would be lap 3 of this, the 23rd race of the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled, of course, by Petron. As we return to the front markers with the orange car, number 13 of Muiz Mustafa, driving fantastically for Malaysia in this race, holding off Luke Allen, and really exactly where he wants to be. This is exactly what the young driver needs, a win to boost his confidence levels and get back up onto the front of the grid. We're going to refresh the timing screens now and see what time everybody is doing, which will be indicative of the pace, and will let us know where Luke Allen's thoughts are at the moment. But I can tell you on the opening laps they did 1:39.410 and a 1:39.487, so very closely matched. But Muiz Mustafa just edging out the Irishman at the start of the race as they come down now into the final sector of the lap, which is broken just after turn 9, which Muiz is cresting just there. A little bit of a dirty corner there from Muiz Mustafa, a little bit squirrely on the entrance, which compromised his exit as well. Of course, they do run quite wide on the exit of turn 9, as you can see everybody taking that line. It looks like we've got yellow flags out at turn 9, marshal post, turn 10, marshal post as well. Presumably Sneha Sharma is still stuck in position at the exit of turn 11. We'll have a quick look at that now to see what's going on. I don't see the safety car board is out. Safety car board is out. Safety car is on track, picking up the leader now, coming down into turn 1 as they cross the start-finish straight. Let's have a quick look and see if we can't update our timing screens and see who's got the pace in this race, as it looks like the safety car is waiting to collect the leader at the pit exit. Yes, there we go. He has done just that, which is bad news for Muiz Mustafa because he had a little bit of a lead to Luke Allen. Less than a second, but in these Formula 4 cars, less than a second is a lifetime. As you can see now, the gap between Muiz and Luke Allen disintegrating to next to nothing, and just behind them, Yasha Adia. And of course, we've got Shihab Al-Habsi in the red number 34 car, sitting in 4th position at the moment, and Elisa Panin rounding out the top 5 in another red car, the number 58, driving for Finland. Just out of the top 5, we've got Alice Young in P6, and just behind him, Mira Erda. Mira will be, by default, I presume, the leading lady for this race as we come into the second sector of the lap under safety car. Hopefully we will recover the purple number 9 in just a moment, and we will be back to racing because it's been a fantastic start to the race this morning with some interesting action already on your screens, and we hope to see more very soon. This is exactly what we're watching these Formula 4 races to see, and it's exactly what Formula 4 is meant for. You can see Snee has still got the car running, trying to return to track now, but she seems to be beached. Perhaps the marshals might be able to assist her and get it back on the track once the procession has passed the corner in question. Unfortunately for her, though, that would mean she was at least a lap down, but she would still, of course, finish the race, which would indicate a point-scoring position for her. But we saw the safety crane being prepared, and obviously she's now exited the car. That would mean she's retiring for the race. Another disappointment here for India's number 9 driver, Sneha Sharma. That's her home circuit of grass motor racetrack. As you see, the marshals trying to move the car, but it's stuck in there very good. Probably wise for everybody involved to let things lie and allow the crane to safely remove the car, so that there's no further damage to the chassis or any part of the racing equipment. As we can hear now, the car is proceeding through turn 11 into the final sector of the race. Down into turn 10, up through turn 11 now, up over the bridge past Sneha, was beached on the exit of turn 11, and past turn 12 into another lap on the safety car. Of course, we saw the crane there about to recover Sneha Sharma, and that will indicate that we're going to be on the safety car for several laps. We have 12 minutes left on the board at the moment, which I imagine means we're going to have another 10 minutes left after the safety car period is over at the most, which will give us about 4 or 5 laps. But that's all these young drivers need. As there was 4 or 5 laps at the beginning of the race, they gave us some very interesting action to watch, and I'm sure there are plenty of young athletes on track not satisfied with their current position, just itching for a chance to get past the man at the front of the grid. Malaysia's Muiz Mustafa driving the orange number 13 car. Luke Allen, though, perhaps the man of the race, coming from second last into second position down into the first sector of the first lap, even if I'm not mistaken. Just behind him, Yashad here in the orange number 17, driving for India. Fantastic weekend for him here last time around 1 week ago, but a little bit of a disappointment so far in event 6. Not to worry though, he's in position now already for a podium finish and may be able to get past Luke Allen if he's held up by the leader. And of course, all of this going to play into the heart and soul of Shihab Al-Habsi and Elias Panin, all I'm sure eyeing podium positions. And although they're compatriots, Alice Young is not going to be happy that Moise is atop the podium instead of himself. Alice has already won here at the Madras Motor Racetrack 2 times, if I'm not mistaken, perhaps a third, and I'm sure he's eyeing that next podium finish and the next time he can take a step atop the top step of the podium, as all of these young athletes are, I am certain. But at the moment, of course, the Malaysian driver with the pink number 22 car relegated to 6th position. He's going to have to fight very hard to get up into the top 5, even because Elias Panin and Shihab Al-Habsi are not going to give him an ounce of support in that quest, because they're both challenging for the championship lead with Luke Allen alongside him. As we come through the second sector down into the third sector of the lap, this is our second lap on the safety car. The lights of the safety car still on, which would indicate there's going to be at least one more lap. Let's have a look outside our window. I don't see the safety car board being displayed, but it's being readied now, so yes, we are going to continue one more lap on the safety car, presumably, as we come around 9B now. A little bit of an interesting naming structure here at the Madras Motor Racetrack. We've got 12 numbered corners, but we've got an additional 3 corners, the kink, 7B and 9B, which makes it a 15 or even 16 corner track if you count the kink, the multiple angles of the kink. As we come down through turn 12 now, if we can switch angles to follow the possession, please. Down the start finish straight, I should say. He's a front on shot of the safety car, leading the possession through the first corner here at the Madras Motor Racetrack. We didn't get a chance to see what's happening with Sneha Sharma in the purple number 9 car, and I can't quite make her out from my position in the commentator's room, so I presume we're going to continue for at least one more lap with 9 minutes 52 seconds left on the timing screens. At the moment, that's going to mean we're going to have only 3 or 4 laps to go to finish this race, but that may be a good thing, because everybody's going to be dashing for the checkered flag, with Moise Mashaffer, I'm sure, under the most pressure of anyone on track at the moment, desperate for a time atop the top step of the podium. I think it would be his second win here at the Madras Motor Racetrack. Of course, he had some success in 2018 back at this very circuit, the first time Formula 4 Southeast Asia visited India, and the first time the MERITUS.GP team returned to the subcontinent since their start in Asia 20 years ago in Formula Asia with drivers such as Narain Karthikeyan and plenty other names, I'm sure. As we continue on the safety car, you can see the lights are still on. If they go out before turn 9 or 10, that would indicate the safety car is coming in. I don't see yellow flags being waved at the start-finish straight. In fact, there is a green flag being waved at the moment, or being prepared, I should say, which would indicate the safety car is coming in, and indeed the safety car lights are already turned off. That would mean that now effectively Luke Allen is going to, I should say Moise Mashaffer is going to become the virtual safety car. You can see him controlling the pace there as the safety car speeds up to return to the pit lane and get out of everybody's way. So as we continue into the third sector now of this lap, Moise Mashaffer taking control of the grid. Of course, now he's the man who can decide when to put the throttle down. He's probably going to do it coming out of turn 10 and through turn 11, and as we cross the start-finish line, we'll be back to racing, and everybody can start all of that exciting overtaking action that we saw at the beginning of the race that Formula 4 has become famous for over the last several years of its organization since the inaugural year in 2016. As we come up over the bridge, down through turn 12, you can hear everybody's already full power as we come into the start-finish line with the safety car into the pit lane and the green flag being waved. We are back to racing in the 23rd race of the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship. Luke Allen having a quick look down the inside. Moise Mashaffer decides against it. Going to hold off and make a move into turn 2. Let's have a look there and see if he decides to dive up the inside. No, he's going to hold on to it and wait for the perfect opportunity. Pile on the pressure to the back of the Malaysian number 13 car driven by Moise Mushaffer, perhaps make a move down into turn 4, but we know that's a very difficult corner to overtake at. Having a look further down the grid, you've got Yash Adi in the orange number 17 car driving for India, is under pressure here by Shihab Al-Habsi, but perhaps luckily for him, behind the Omani driver is the Finn, Elias Panin, who's going to be attacking that red number 34 car with everything he has. As Luke Allen goes around the outside at turn 5, Moise Mushaffer makes a small mistake, runs onto the grassland. Luke Allen takes first position away from Malaysia into the second sector of this lap as, looks like the orange number 17 driven by Yash Adi is going to go up the inside at turn 7, but Moise holds him off. Yash goes onto the dirt, back, rejoins the track behind Shihab Al-Habsi, cutting off Elias Panin through 7B, as Shihab Al-Habsi now going around the outside of the orange number 13 car driven by Malaysia's Moise Mushaffer, coming into turn 8, around the outside at turn 8. Fantastic driving there. Yash Adi trying to find position as well. Looks like Moise might be having a little bit of a problem here as we come down into turn 9 now, with Luke Allen at the front of the grid, with all the action now battling for third position, where Moise Mushaffer trying to hold off the man behind him in the orange number 17 car, Yash Adi, racing for India this weekend at the Madras Motor Racetrack down here in Chennai. As we have a look now at the leader of the race, of course, Luke Allen still bringing us around. Looks like Shihab Al-Habsi in second position, and if I'm not mistaken, that is Moise Mushaffer's orange number 13 car in third, holding off Yash Adi. Still, as we come into the first lap after the safety car period, down into the first sector of the lap, and turn 1 as well, with Elias Panin now in position to make a move and try and get his car up into the podium finishing order, as Alistair Young seems to be content at the moment to hold on, perhaps maybe nursing his car a little bit after the collision with Shinasham at the exit of the entrance of turn 11 a few laps ago. As we come through the kink now, a big change in the order. We've got Luke Allen from Ireland in first position, Shihab Al-Habsi from Oman in second, and Moise Mushaffer in third. Just behind him is Yash Adi and Elias Panin. Elias going to be all over the back of the Indian driver, trying to get up into fourth, and have a quick look at Moise Mushaffer's position as well, if he can manage it. But with only 5 minutes left on the board, that gives us a maximum of 3 laps remaining, so there's not a lot of time for these young drivers to make something happen. But I'm sure we've seen plenty of stuff, plenty of overtaking maneuvers in less time, and of course Luke Allen pulling out pole on qualifying on the last lap of the session yesterday morning, so anything can happen in Formula 4 Southeast Asia. As you can see, Elias Panin already going up the inside here of Yash Adi, and Alistair Young following suit. He's going to go around the outside at turn 9 now. We're having some fantastic overtaking action in this race. Alistair Young just closing the door there on Yash as they come through into the third sector of the lap. Alistair Young right up behind Elias Panin, following him neatly through 9B into 10, around 11. He's got to be careful here because this is where his collision happened with Sneha Sharma earlier in the race. Up over the bridge, down the other side into turn 12, and we can already see Luke Allen coming around turn 12, crossing the start-finish line just now ahead of Shihab Al-Habsi and Moise Mushaffer. Moise Mushaffer has to be kicking himself. He lost it. He lost his first position just after the safety car period. A small mistake cost him dearly as we come around turn 1 now, with Alistair Young in the pink number 22 car, still chasing Elias Panin just ahead of him. They're lapping quite consistently, I believe. Elias doing a 1:40.015 and Alistair Young doing a 1:41.13. Oh, that's not quite right. That's going to be affected by the overtaking on the last lap. That's not updated to this time across the start finish straight just yet. But having a look at the last lap, we've got Shihab Al-Habsi setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:38.980. That's 1/10 of a second, or actually that's not accurate. That's actually no, it's about 100th of a second faster than Luke Allen. So he's closing the man in front, but Luke has got a 1.6 second gap, at least the last time across the start finish line. So not a lot of time for Shihab to make anything happen, but you never know, so keep watching until the end so that we can find out exactly who stands atop the podium here for the third race of Event 6, the 23rd race overall in the Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, the 2019 season, of course fueled by Petron. As we come around turn 9 now, Luke Allen once again at the front of the grid, the blue number 3 car driving for Ireland ahead of Shihab Al-Habsi and Moise Mushaffer. The action now between the red number 58 and the pink number 22 of Elias Panin from Finland and Alistair Young from Malaysia. Alistair had a little bit of bad luck last time they went out, sacrificing position to Elias Panin at the exit of turn 7B, just running a little bit into dirty ground. They're just losing time. Elias capitalizing on it. Perhaps Alistair can pay back the Finnish driver this time around, but he's a little bit too far back to make anything happen, as he seems to be more than 6 tenths away from the car in front of him. Back to the front of the grid though, here's the orange number 13 car driven by the so-called driver Maurice Mashaffer coming around turn 1 now, down into turn 2 and up into turn 3. Then we've got the kink and into the second sector of the lap, beginning with turn 4. Of course, Luke Allen in the blue number 3 car leading us through the kink that we just talked about. It's a fantastic little sequence of corners there. If you look at it, it actually seems to be 3 separate corners, so it really does change the entire characteristics of the track. That itself makes this track from a 12-corner circuit into a 15-corner circuit as we come around turn 4, turn 5. Luca there just entering turn 6 and then turn 7, and then we got the little kink on the exit of turn 7, which is referred to as 7B. That's where we've seen some overtaking action, and in this, the second sector seems to be where a lot of things happen. We've seen some very interesting moves at turn 8, but everybody just a little bit too far back to make anything happen at the moment, perhaps now resigned to preserve their tyres for the final race of the weekend, with the distance between the cars being too significant for anyone to make a meaningful move. But that doesn't indicate that there won't be any action remaining in this, the 23rd race of the season, because these young drivers know exactly what we want to see, and they never fail to deliver. As we come around turn 10 now with Maurice Mashaffer in the orange number 13, hard braking into turn 11, up over the hill, down the other side into turn 12, and onto what I presume would be the final lap. Nope, the final. Oh yeah, there we go. Final lap board is being displayed. Last lap board is out on track. So this is now the final lap. So if anybody's going to make anything happen, they have to do it now. Elias Stepanin, perhaps the only man in position to do so, closing into the orange number 13 car of Maurice Mashaffer down into the first sector of the final lap. Let's have a look if he's close enough to make anything happen. Not quite yet, but you can definitely see that gap is closing. Let's have a look at the lap times. Elias Stepanin is the fastest man on track, doing a 1:38.701. 5/10 of a second faster than Shihab Al-Habsi, and almost 4/10 of a second faster than Maurice Mashaffer in the last lap. You can see Maurice is now suffering the gap between himself and second position, widening as he has to defend from the Finnish driver behind him, and he's going to do so proudly, I'm sure, because he's got to hold on to that position to bring it home for Malaysia. As we continue through turn 6 now and into turn 7, let's have a look at the left of your screens in just a moment. I'm sure we'll have a better angle at the battle for third position, which is perhaps the most interesting thing to watch on track at the moment. Let's have a look to the left-hand side. Can we follow to the left, please, and see what's happening with Maurice Mashaffer and Elias Stepanin? Is he going to find a way past? Is the Malaysian driver going to keep the Finn behind him? So far he has done, but look at this. Elias braking a lot later into turn 8, but Maurice just holding the Finn off, keeping him behind him. He's got another 3 corners to go now. Going to be very difficult for Elias to make a move here at 9B, but perhaps around the outside at turn 10. Let's follow those 2 cars, the orange and red cars, in third and fourth position. If we just stay on this angle and follow to the left-hand side, we can see what's going to happen with the main action on track at the moment. The orange and red cars of Maurice Mashaffer and Elias Stepanin. Unfortunately, we're watching the start-finish straight where Luke Allen makes a fantastic race to finish first once again here at the Madras Motor Racetrack.
Yeah, so I started from the back and just really tried my best for the first few laps. Just after the safety car, I managed to get into P1, get a bit of a gap, and then Shihab did a good job to keep the pressure on me at the end. But
I was definitely faster than him. I was catching him too much in the end. So yeah, I have a good start and try to put as much as I can pressure on him, and yeah, try to make something in the end.
Yeah, Luca make a good job at turn 4, so he overtook me in turn 5, so can't do anything. Yeah, so I was planning to make a good start like today, this morning, so make a good start, so didn't waste so much the tire, so yeah, let's see.
I think I can see the progress, and hopefully there's one more race and I can just, keep improving myself and stay with the pack and compete. Yeah. There's no strategy. It's the only thing that I want to focus on is how I can improve my race pace and, just stay with the pack and, at least keep competing with them for the whole race actually. So yeah, that's the strategy.
the Rush Petron F4.
So for me, ladies and gentlemen, really we've reached the end of the race. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.